What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out all the free Showtime cards. Yes, all of these players, Jordan Henderson, they do have Showtime skills. You will be able to get one for free. Bernardo Silva as well. Robertson is there with edge crossing. And of course you have aerial Fort Marquinhos. These will be free on Thursday. Don't make the wrong choice. We're going to go through all the cards. They will be available on the Match Pass or the Campaign Hub. And they are pretty decent. So we're going to start with long reach tackle Henderson. Now, this is his build. These are his main stats. He's got really good defense. As you can see, you will need to train a couple of skills on him, such as weighted pass, if you want heading, acrobatic clearance, or track back and aerial superiority. He does have long reach tackle. Now, long reach tackle is probably the most overpowered Showtime skill from the selection of 4 players. But that is the build that you guys can copy there if you do go for him, which at the end of the video, I'll show you my ranking for these. But long reach tackle on display here with Virgil van Dijk. This is what it is. It's an animation-based tackle animation. That's basically what it is. And it's showing you there exactly how it works. So it is overpowered. Next up, we do have Bernardo Silva. Now, Silva's with flick. That is his build here. Ball carrying and striker's instinct we're going to give him. And look at the strength and attack stats that he has. 90s out the wazoo. Really, really nice speed, acceleration, balance. Doesn't have finishing these down as a creative playmaker, so that's a small issue, but huge ball control, dribble and tight possession, and low and lofted pass. And of course, he does have visionary pass as well, going to 102 overall. Is he worth it? I think he's one of the weaker options of the pack. Yes, the passing, I mean, you can do a lot of nice visionary passing and a lot of low lofted passing, but I do feel like the passing at the moment, you do need to have a complete player in attacking midfield, and Bernardo Silva can't really shoot, so that's one thing to keep in mind. His finishing is quite low no matter how you train him, unless you don't want to put his speed and acceleration into the 90s, or you want to reduce his dribbling to 90 instead of 95, 94, and 95. That is obviously a personal decision you guys can make for yourself, but I feel like if you're using a player to carry the ball and link the play, you definitely need high dribbling, very high dribbling if you want to do it. Now, also, we do have Brazil's Marquinhos with aerial fort. What do I think of aerial fort? Well, let's first concentrate on his defense stats. 95, 95, 96, and 95. Huge tackling, huge aggression, and awareness, and engagement, rocked up with aerial fort. As I mentioned, do I rate aerial fort as a Showtime skill? Not really. I'll be honest with you, not really. And I do feel that, like, strikers at the moment, if they're going to win a ball, as you see Wayne Rooney beating Virgil van Dijk in the air here. I know you'll say Virgil van Dijk is not going to win every battle and aerial fort is obviously going to be slightly different. But I do feel that, like, even centre-backs like Marquinhos, they will lose battles. I mean, aerial fort is one of these animation-based or one of these Showtime skill-based skills that, I don't know, like, a lot of people don't attack aerially anymore. We'll get into that at the end of the video with my final ranking, but that's something to keep in mind. Now, last but not least, we do have Andy Robertson. Liverpool's left back actually got quite solid defensive stats. Kind of reminds me of Roberto Carlos attacking, but also 90 engagement and 90 aggression for his defense as well is pretty huge. The only stat that doesn't hit the threshold is 84 there. Edge crossing. So this is an attack first left back. If you want a defensive fullback, this is not your pick. This is not your man. But with the way the game is at the moment now, that's obviously you can bypass a lot of the edge crossing or the visionary passing or a lot of the animation based stuff with stunning crosses or putting the ball into really dangerous areas with L2 if you're holding that, or stunning as you're seeing here with Otto swinging the ball in. Obviously edge crossing, pinpoint crossing, they will maximize the benefit of swinging across in, and that just goes without saying. It does help consistency, and that is pretty much why people do it if they're spamming. But a lot of people attack on the ground. That's where Robertson, I think you need to be careful. Robertson could be S tier, he could be the ultimate pick if you actually play a lot of crosses. But as you see here, right, in the 87th minute, this is kind of how a lot of people attack, is how I scored this goal. We pick up the ball here with Xabi Alonso, who's our main creative force. We hold the tackle off, we split it to Wayne Rooney, who's making the run from AMF as a whole player, and then it's popped in the back of the net. Now, I do like his stats, don't get me wrong. He's got really good defensive stats, huge speed, acceleration. His kicking power is just one behind, but massive stamina, so he'll be able to get up and down the pitch and equally play with a sub-tactic as well, which is always nice if you're used to playing with a sub-tactic that you can switch from a 4 to a 3 at the back and push him into a left midfielder. And of course, he also does have a few nice stats. So in like kind of like final thoughts of this, I think Bernardo Silva is probably the weakest, followed by Marquinhos. Now, I know people will like get Marquinhos and say, how can you say he's weak? It's just because most people don't attack aerially at the moment. And then also on top of that, we do have Robertson, who comes in second in this, or third best. And then I think long reach tackle Henderson is going to be the man to get in this. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. But this is my tier ranking. I do think Robertson, if you play crossing, right, is an S tier card. If you don't have, if you're free to play, these cards in this tier list is not to be compared. You know, as in, if Thuram was on this list, or Patrick Vieira was on this list, comparing him to Henderson, like, Vieira would be like an SSSSSSS. Like, he'd be S by 10. Obviously, there's not going to be a comparison there. But a lot of people don't have long reach tackle cards. Henderson looks unreal. 90 speed, which is insane. Really good defense, and can pass the ball and dribble and hold and tie possession. Very, very solid. For a free Showtime with long reach tackle, it is insane. If you play out wide, if you cross a lot of balls in, and if you want to vary your play, which a lot of people are like playing possession now, even going away from the meta, just have a bit of crack, Robertson can be S tier as well within these batch of 4 players. Is he S tier in the wider scheme of things with comparing him to Roberto Carlos? No. And Marquinhos, right? I know I'm going to get a bit of flack for Marquinhos and Silva being A tier and a little bit below these two boys, Robertson and Henderson. I just feel that like 90% of people that I come up against, they don't use the wings. They don't cross balls in. If somebody's going to spam balls, one single centre-back that's aerial forward, such as Marquinhos, is not going to actually stop. It might work for a game or two, but eventually you will succumb to the spam because it's just overwhelming at the moment. But most of the time, you're going to have to defend the ball on the deck, on the grounds, and just when people are keeping it on the deck. You know what I mean? They're keeping it low. They're not putting the ball up high. They're not using target men. And then Bernardo Silva, again, I just feel like his finishing is slightly off. There's a lot of players that have got really good attacking stats. Unless you've been playing the game for the last couple of weeks, you're probably going to have 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20 players that have got comparable stats to him. In saying that, there are no wrong choices here, really. I mean, Henderson, I think, is the top choice. But if you have 5, 6, like, really good long-reach tackle cards, if you've got 5 or 6 crossers with edge crossing, you don't need to get Henderson and Robertson. That's why it's very difficult to have every factor in this. But on the surface, with these 4 players just being compared in a compartmentalized vacuum sample size, this is my ranking of them. This is who I think you should sign if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, Henderson. And if you're looking for, obviously, something different, Robertson. But Marquinhos and Silva can also do a job for you, depending on your team, your tactics, your quality of play, how good you are on the sticks. But that is it. Let me know who you're going to spin for. I will catch you guys on Thursday in the stream. Peace.